Welcome to Calling All Angels. I'm Dottie Souza, and I have with us Beverly Courville, Reiki Master Teacher and Theta Practitioner. And we're going to delve more into the Reiki. And without further ado, I'd like to say welcome, Beverly. Thank you for coming back. So, last time we spoke, we briefly touched on the Reiki. And I know there's just so much more to Reiki than that. And maybe some stories of, I wouldn't call them miracles, although I would call them miracles, but people who have been helped by you.
Okay. Well, before we even start to go through that, I would like to send out Reiki to the audience. There's an attunement that we do for distance healing. So that means you do not have to be present. We do ask permission, and I hope I do receive permission from anyone out there, but right now I'm going to put some symbols in my hands and send out some abundance to the audience and healing. If you just bear with me one moment while I put my symbols in my hands.
I'll join you.
And get them. These symbols signify emotional distance and empowerment. When we start off with the first session in Reiki, it's basically learning the hand placements. When we go to a second level, we learn various symbols that empower us. There's 3 of them that are used. I use 4. Most people go, why do you use 4? Because I use a balancing symbol. There are many ways in Reiki that you can balance your chakras that we spoke of previously, but I have one that I find is a favorite, and it does the entire body. I have experienced many issues where it's difficult for a person to turn over, to do the backside, so there's another symbol that I use to intensify if a person is having back issues, lower back, legs. So at this time I would take a brief minute to please send out the Reiki to the audience. Dottie, I know you know Reiki, so if you'd like to join me in that, I would be grateful.
And for our audience, just sit back, have your legs uncrossed, and for those who accept it, you can feel the energy.
I'm getting a lot of tingling in my hands, so that means it's going out there and people are accepting it.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you notice, I just swept my body. That is, we do this at the end of every Reiki session. This is to disconnect the person. Normally when we do it, we also put in white light to fill any void that we've removed, any negativity or any problem that was lingering in a person. And Dottie is very familiar with that also. Most recently, I had a person, and I spoke of it, that was having problem with their knees. When we do Reiki, we do the 7 chakras, the crown, the eyes, which they call the third eye, most people the forehead. We do the throat, we do the heart, we do the solar plex, which is below the ribs, the sacral, which is lower. And another thing that we do a lot is we'll do the knees and the ankles when we're doing on the feet. Believe it or not, your knees hold a lot of stress in a body. The knees carry our weight, but they also the stress of a body seems to hang in there. And we'll find that happens a lot. And that is an area where sometimes we'll go back to because we feel as though it hasn't cleared and the energy is not flowing from head to toe. And it makes a difference as to how we proceed with any individual. Usually I'll ask a person to go to their favorite place, be it the mountains, be it the ocean, any place where they find it relaxing. And I ask them to go there, to visualize where they are, just to get them into a better frame of mind so that the Reiki can also heal them. It is amazing to see the difference in people from when they first get on a table or if they're sitting in a chair and I'm doing a process with them, a session with them. And when they're through, it's like, oh, okay, how did I get there from there to here and feel so great without moving? And I go, that's Reiki. That's the healing energy of Reiki. There are many modalities that we are very fortunate to have witnessed to. And I am always on a path of learning. I feel as though we can never learn too much. Unfortunately, in the United States, there are doctors that have been aware, really frightful of what Reiki was until they really learned it and experienced it. They're using it more and more in the hospitals. Women with cancer, they're using it in a lot of the nursing homes. They're using it at hospice a lot. Even in the rest homes that they're using where people feel as though they need it to help them heal. We're finding it more and more. And the doctors are finding that the hospital stays are less. They're using less medication, which is great. Pharmaceutical companies don't care for it very much, but that's okay. The people are the ones that count on it.
It's amazing how I got into this realm. Was I had, as you know, a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4, and I was pretty much told to get my affairs in order, all my affairs in order, and I was due to go down for surgery. And again, another earth angel from the hospital behind the hospital that I was staying with just walked into my room. And she said, "Would you like Reiki?" And I said, "Well, they've done everything else. You might as well go for it." But as soon as she placed her hands on me, I knew I was going to make it. Where they weren't too sure about anything, I just felt like I had just received a healing and that it was going to be okay. I went down to surgery. She had given me some hand placements to use when I came up from surgery. And the beautiful part was that when I did come up from surgery, which was a surprise to many, I placed my hands in where the incision was. And I did not have to push that pain button. And the nurses would come in and they'd argue with me, "Your blood pressure's high, you have to push that button." But I said, "But I'm not feeling any pain." And I had a large incision, obviously, and they were baffled. But I really didn't have to push that pain med. And I felt that I healed quicker. Obviously, cancer-free, which is something that was not even put on the table when I was diagnosed. And I feel that this earth angel, and I never got to see her again, and I'm really sorry that I could not see her again, whether she just came to life for me, or whether we didn't connect. But the beautiful thing was that I felt at that moment that a miracle was happening. And I felt the warmth of the Reiki, because you know that there's warmth coming through. When she was placing her hands over my stomach, I just knew that warm feeling was curing me, was helping me. And of course, from that time on, I loved Reiki, obviously. And I found that so many people's lives have changed because of it. Any other stories of other people that you've helped?
Oh, yeah, about 10 months ago, I was working with a person and their friend was with them, and I said, I said, "When I'm through, how about if I do some Reiki on you?" She goes, "I've never had it done." I said, "Well, let's try it." So I dismissed the other person, cleared them, and they went in the other room, and I said, "Come on, get on the table." So she did. I told her to go to her favorite place. Now, I knew nothing of this woman's history. I did not know that she was scheduled the next day to have hot catheterization.
Oh, my goodness.
According to, I did the Reiki, and she said, "Oh, I feel good." And I says, "Oh, okay." I says, "What's going on in your life?" I says, "I feel something in your heart area." I says, "Are you having a heart problem?" She says, "Well, I have to go for hot catheterization tomorrow. From what they're saying, I'm going to have to about maybe 3 stents put in." I says, "Oh, my God." I says, "Well, you know what? Maybe you won't have to have that many." As it would be, she called me a week later, and she said, "Beverly, I really have to tell you something." I said, "What's that?" The doctor wanted to know what was going on in my life. She says, "They only put in 1 stent, and he could not figure out what had happened because they were scheduled to do more." And he asked me, "What have you been doing? What did you do?" He was looking at the x-rays and had them redone, and the MRIs and all of the things, especially the one with the dye. And he says, "This can't be." He said, you know, "We were scheduled to put in 3. We're only putting in 1. She says, "Well, I was with my friend who was having Reiki, and the person who does it, the practitioner, said, 'Get on the table. I think you could use some Reiki.'" And she says, "I guess it was the Reiki that did it." He says, "Well, keep going to her." She said, "You'll be in great shape, but don't let any of my other clients know about it." And she said, I hope you're joking. He says, yes, I am. He says, I'm just very glad for you because you were looking at a long time for recuperation, and this has cut it way down.
Yeah.
So things do happen, and you don't have to know what's going on with a person. The angels more or less tell you, go to that area, and you can more or less feel when there's something blocked there. The energy just like stops. It's like cold. And when you put your hands over a certain area, you can feel this coldness, and then it goes away, and then it gets warm, and you can tell the energy is making things flow. Even with people with shoulders to their hands, you can start in one area, and it's sort of blocked in the elbow, and you just stay there. They say, well, you should here to here. No, go where it's telling you to go to unblock it, and then you can feel it move. And that's one of the most beautiful things of Reiki. We're not diagnostics. We do not, we make sure you go to your doctors, get the help that you need, be it meds or whatever. But if you feel as though, Reiki will help you, let us know. Right. And it has. And a lot of clients that I have reduced their meds, and with doctor's approval, because they don't need as much anymore. The pain isn't there. The frequency of pain is less. And I've had people call me up and say, gee, could you see me? I'm starting to feel some pain. And I go, yep, come on down. And they'll go, that's great. Now I don't have to be popping these pills and meds that I know are doing damage to my other organs. Right. And unfortunately, that is the side effect of a lot of the meds out there. They help one issue. I won't use the word cure because there isn't a cure there. They help an issue. They diminish the pain, but they also affect the liver, the kidneys, everything possible, all the organs in the body.
And I find now that most of the medical field are acknowledging Reiki. A lot of the nurses are being trained in Reiki. And I really feel that down the road this will be used more widely in hospitals. I know that I've heard that in hospitals where they're going to deliver babies, that a lot of women request a Reiki master to come in and help with the pain of delivery. And so I think it's going to be utilized a lot more in a lot more hospitals because it does work. And when you work them both together, both the medical field and the Reiki practitioner, it's a good marriage. I believe it's truly a good marriage. No one is bashing each other. They're working together. And I think that's the best for the patient, and for the client. I had one woman who came in who could not have a child. She tried everything. She tried to get pregnant for the longest time. And she came in for a foot problem, oddly enough. But she had also asked for a full body Reiki session. And as I'm going down, I'm up getting closer to her stomach, and I'm seeing a vision of a baby with curly hair. And I even saw the color of the bunting. And I knew that there was a baby waiting to come in, but there was something blocking. And so I finished the Reiki session. I went into a theater. I asked her permission just to go and look and see what was stopping her from being pregnant, because she was obviously healthy. And again, feelings affect your body. When she was a little child, she was sitting on the kitchen floor. Her mother had a bunch of women there. One woman came up and said, she was playing with the dolls, said, "You make a lousy mother." That stuck in her subconscious mind. And this whole time that she was trying to get pregnant and she wanted a child so badly, she could not produce. Once she realized, and once we cleared that feelings from her subconscious mind, 6 months later she called and said she was pregnant. And when I went to see the baby, it had the same color bunting, the curly hair. So the healing modality Reiki is just so amazing, also Theta. But the beautiful part about it is that when you're pure of heart, and this girl was pure of heart and she really wanted a child, that when you call on those angels and you call in all your guides and you do your Reiki and Theta, miracles can happen. You've done many, many miracles and things. So this is a blessing. For those who haven't experienced Reiki, they can go online, they can read about it, or they can come to one of us, or contact our email, callingallangels444@yahoo.com, and we'll be happy to hook them up with somebody that will help them. But I know you've just done so many different great things. I know for myself, every time you work on my back, the knots go away, the tension goes away. It feels miraculous. It feels wonderful. If I could have you there 24/7, I would. But any other wonderful stories of Reiki that's come up?
There's been quite a few. A lot of them, it just is just the being and helping someone, and they feel so different. They come in, they're depressed. Depression is an awful thing that's happening, and it's the stress, the unemployment of people that were living very high, and all of a sudden they can't attain that. The state of Rhode Island is bad as far as jobs. I know a lot of people that had executive positions that the company downsized and their positions were gone because of their salary. They are now moving out of state because they can't find it, and it's heartbreaking to them because their ties and their roots are here. And they'll say, "I'm just so," and I'll say, "We'll come in and let's talk it. Let's talk it through. Let's get on the table. Let's try to get rid of all this depression that you're feeling. There are some things you have to believe that things will turn around for you, and just have to put it out to the universe, because the universe will make sure that positive things will happen. But you have to feel that it's going to happen. You can't have these negative thoughts or, oh, I have bad luck and this is this and this is that, because when you say that, you bring more into yourself. And I think by speaking with these people and explaining to them that it's what you say that magnifies whatever is there, and you want to have positive thoughts in your life. And it's difficult. You can't always have the smile on your face, but if you do, you have people wondering, why is she smiling? I know her life is a wreck right now, but you have to look. People never know what is going on in another person's life. They may assume, which we should not, but people do. And just that Reiki in itself can do so many beautiful things, not only physically, but mentally. There's always that issue out there of, why do I need it? What's going to make you feel better? And it will. I haven't had a person that came off the table or even from a chair and says, I didn't feel anything. I don't feel any different. There is a difference, and it lingers. It doesn't go away as soon as you walk out the door. Mm-hmm. It will last. It will last days and weeks. I've had one person came back in 3 weeks and said, I'm just starting to feel a little funny. I think I need a tune-up. I says, what can I tell you? Come on down. And it does work. And it changes a whole person's perspective of the way things are to the way they should be and the way they're going to be. And I think once you've had some Reiki done, or another modality. Theta is one where we work with the DNA, and people say, well, how can you work with the DNA? That's there. But it's been proven that it works. And we can go back as far as into a person's womb. There's a muscle test that we do, and it's a yes or no. And what you do is your dominant hand you use, your non-dominant, and you make this, and you ask a question. And you say, let's say, I am a woman. You can't go through because that's the truth. I am a man. It breaks right through. That's not a truth. That's a muscle test that we do. And there's many statements that you make and you state, and then if you reword it in a positive way, it will become a yes. And that's another thing that you do in Theta. It's called muscle testing. But it's so true that we do go back. Subconscious can hold on to things, and we don't even realize what it is. But through Theta, you can go into past lives and see what is happening.
And it's very helpful because people are holding on to belief systems that really shouldn't be held on to. Yeah. But they're not even aware sometimes.
Correct.
And so by releasing those through the Theta, they can move on. When you were speaking about abundance, there's an angel that you can call upon. It's called Bundatia.
Yes.
And for those out there that need abundance, this is a good thing. If you call on Bundatia and truly ask for help, and don't limit yourself. People limit themselves. They say, well, can you just send me enough to pay the rent? You'll get the rent, but you won't get the gas bill paid or the electric bill paid or the food. You basically say, Bundatia, please send it so that all my needs are being met, that everything will come to me easily for my highest and best good. Always say for your highest and best good, because you want it to come easily to you. But the belief system, and this goes into your DNA. If you bring in abundance to yourself and you ask for abundant here to help, you are also changing that DNA in there. You're repairing it yourself.
Correct.
And so that's an amazing thing to do. There are just so many different tools through the angels, through the Reiki, through the Theta, that can help in so many different ways. And we just need to have it out there that this is possible, that anything is possible. One of my mottos is you have endless possibilities. And so, and belief, and the biggest thing is to believe in them, believe in yourselves. At this time of year, it's really hard. People are stressed, they have challenges. You just have to take away the negativity and bring in joy. And somebody will say, well, I have no joy. Okay? Well, here's the thing. You ask your angels to bring you joy. And then you'll start to see things differently. You might actually, your job. Okay, I hate my job. I can't find any joy in my job. But if you ask them to bring in joy, and you don't have to know the angel that brings in joy, but you can just call upon that angel and say, please, give me some joy. There's got to be something in this job that I'm going to enjoy. And you're going to find that as the days or even hours go by, depending on how quickly they decide to work with you, you're going to be like, you know what, this part of the job isn't so bad. I enjoy this. Or I'm getting to meet more people by doing this part of the job. And then you'll start to switch off. You'll start to switch off the negativity for the positive. And the joy will start coming in. And once you let that joy get into your heart, there is no letting go. It will grow. It'll spread like a beautiful virus. It'll spread in your body, and you will feel more joy each and every day. That being said, Beverly, I want to thank you again for being here. You are an amazing person, amazing healer. Anyone who wants to get in touch with you, please write to Calling All Angels 444@yahoo.com, and we'll connect you with Beverly, or if you have any questions, or if you have any stories of your own, please feel free to write in. Nothing is too small, and nothing is too large. When it comes to angels, there are all different types of stories, excuse me, and all types of miracles. Just let them happen. That being said, again, I want to give my thanks to Beverly for being here, and I want to thank you for tuning in and listening. And I will see you again really soon. Blessings to you all.